Ragland came as flight comes to the strong-winged wildfowl. The secrets of the forest were his, and of the rocks and rivers. He knew how to find the nests of the plover, to call the loon, to net the heron and spear the fish. He understood the language of the whispering pines. Where the deer came down to drink, and the caribou browsed on moss, and the white rabbit nibbled in the grass, and the bear dug in the logs for grubs, all these he learned. And also when the black flies drove the moose into the water, and when the honk of the geese meant the approach of the north wind. He lived in the woods with his bow, his net, and his spear. The trees were his brothers. The loon laughed for his happiness, the wolf mourned for his sadness. The bold crag above the river, old Stoneface heard his step when he climbed there in the twilight. He communed with the stern god of his ancestors and watched the flashing northern lights and listened. From all four corners came his spirit guides with steps of destiny on his trail. On all the four winds breathed voices whispering of his future. Loudest of all called the Athabasca, God-forsaken river, murmuring of the bride born of a wind kiss on the flowers in the moonlight. On all the four winds breathed voices whispering of his future. It was autumn, with the flame of leaf fading, the haze rolling out of the hollows, the lull yielding to moan of coming wind. All the signs of a severe winter were in the holes of the nuts, in the fur of the foxes, in the flight of waterfowl. Sienna was spearfishing for winter store. None so keen of sight as Sienna, so swift of arm. And as he was the hope, so he alone was the provider for the starving tribe. Sienna stood to his knees in a brook where it flowed over its gravelly bed into the Athabasca. Poised high was his wooden spear. It glinted downward swift as a shaft of sunlight through the leaves. Then Sienna lifted a quivering whitefish and tossed it upon the bank where his mother Emma, with other women of the tribe, sun-dried the fish upon a rock. Again and again, many times flashed the spear. The young chief seldom missed his aim. Early frosts on the uplands had driven the fish down to deeper water, and as they came darting over the bright pebbles, Sienna called them by name. The oldest squaw could not remember such a run of fish. Emma sang the praises of her son. The other women ceased the hunger chant of the tribe. Suddenly, a hoarse shout pealed out over the waters. Emma fell in a fright. Her companions ran away. Sienna leaped upon the bank, clutching his spear. A boat in which were men with white faces drifted down toward him. "Hello!" again sounded the hoarse cry. Emma cowered in the grass. Sienna saw a waving of white hands. His knees knocked together, and he felt himself about to flee, but Sienna of the Crows, the savior of a vanishing tribe, must not fly from visible foes. "Pale faces," he whispered, trembling, yet stood his ground ready to fight for his mother. He remembered stories of an old Indian who had journeyed far to the south and had crossed the trails of the dreaded white men. There stirred in him vague memories of strange Indian runners, telling campfire tales of white hunters with weapons of lightning and thunder. "Natsa! Natsa!" Sienna cast one fleeting glance to the north and a prayer to his god of gods. He believed his spirit would soon be wandering in the shades of the other Indian world. As the boat beached on the sand, Sienna saw men lying with pale faces upward to the sky, and voices in an unknown tongue greeted him. The tone was friendly, and he lowered his threatening spear. Then a man came up the bank, his hungry eyes on the pile of fish, and he began to speak haltingly in mingled Cree and Chippewayan language.